didn't grow up in church any part of my life. I grew up in a family with not a lot of faith, or my mom wasn't a Christian, my father's Muslim, and I have different people in my life that weren't saved, so I didn't grow up knowing Christ. And as I became a teenager in my 14, I was started off in a lifestyle of homosexuality and started experimenting with women. And as time went on, I went into a full lifestyle with women where that's all I was with, and I decided I was going to marry a woman and be with women the rest of my life. And God had a completely different plan for me. And when I was 18, he brought me into a church by way of one of my girlfriends and started showing me his love. And I would go to a church for a minute and then I would run away because I was terrified of changing or of God's love, period. And when I was 21, God sent me to a beauty school. And when I went to beauty school, I never planned on going to beauty school, but he sent me there, and a girl witnessed to me about Christ and his love for me. And I didn't understand that kind of love. I didn't grow up with that kind of love with my family. My father was very full of fear and more of a dictator, and out of that, I never understood love. So I went to church with the old church that my ex-girlfriend took me to. And in that church, I experienced such a radical love of God. People just hugged me and loved on me, and I didn't understand that kind of love. And out of being there in the church service, God did a miraculous move, and all at one time, I experienced a deliverance. And it's hard to explain. I didn't go in saying that I shouldn't be gay. I believed that I was right. I believed that being homosexual was God's will for my life, and that no one could judge me, or that if I died and went to heaven that I would be fine. And what happened all at one time in the church service is that God came in and his love just poured all over me, and he in a swift movement did a deliverance. And I knew that I was being delivered from that as I was on the floor, and I could hear his voice saying homosexuality, and I began to just agree with God, Lord, deliver me, deliver me. And at one time when I got up, I knew that I was changed. And I actually had brought a girlfriend with me, and when I took her home that day, I told her that I could never see her again, and that I knew that my life was changed. I wasn't just in that lifestyle, but I was also very addicted to drugs and alcohol and cigarettes. And within a week and a half span, everything that I was addicted to dropped. And it wasn't me trying to, or anyone saying, if you do this, you're not a Christian. It was just the Holy Spirit that made me not want it. I lost the taste for alcohol. I lost the taste for drugs. I just didn't want it. And I couldn't explain why, but it just happened in a miraculous way. And God is just a deliverer and a miraculous movement. And it only took me being receptive to God and saying, whatever you want to do, I'm open to. And when I said that, and I went to church that next service, that next day, he did exactly what he wanted to do. And my life will never be the same. And I owe everything in my life now to him. It's more beautiful than I could explain. The love that I have in my heart and the joy that I've experienced is more than I've ever experienced in all of the years of my life. And since then, God has restored my relationship with my father, my relationship with my mother. He's completely changed and different. He saved and redeemed my mother, and he's had promises for the rest of my family. And it's just absolutely amazing. There's nothing like God, and there's nothing like taking that plunge and trusting him with your life and just saying, God, I don't know what you want. I know what everybody says. I know what everyone thinks about me and whatever situation you might be in. But if you just make a jump, a leap of faith and say, God, I trust you to have your way, whatever that means, and then take that leap and see what he does for you. Just take a chance and see what he does. He'll blow your mind.